Yes, y'all. Woo. All right.
Well, okay.
Excuse me. Allow me to take a sip of water. Yes, y'all.
There we go.
From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership in beautiful Carrollton, Texas, it is DCTF Live, an internet show. My name is Greg Tepper. I am the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. I am sitting here. Sitting over there is Max Thompson. Hello, Max.
What up?
So your voice didn't crack the first time you talked.
No, I am road weary. My voice is just beat.
You're past puberty, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's good. Today is Monday, June 20th, 2016, episode 154. 154, the number of RBIs for Bernie Allen in his illustrious Washington Senators career.
I think pretty much everyone knows that.
Or you can go for at-bats for Jeff Home Run Baker, if you want. A little bit later, we're going to be getting into, in honor of the Cleveland Cavaliers snapping their city's long drought of championships. We will ask the question, who's going to break a drought in Texas high school football this season? We'll tell you what that entails.
Intrigue abounds.
And in a moment, we will break down some of the headlines across the state, including Baylor doing the right thing. We'll talk about that in just a little bit. One thing right off the top. So you'd like to get your hands on the 2016 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football.
I sure would, Greg.
With this beautiful cover. So we've been telling people that it's going to be hitting shelves on June 24th. So we got some bad news from our printer and this is 100% true. So the way that making a magazine works, actually I feel like I can actually do some stuff. So here you go. You take a magazine, and the way you do it is you print all the pages. Okay. You print all the pages.
I'm still following.
And then you put the pages together.
Okay.
And you make you do what's called bind them. This is
interesting. What is in the binding process, Greg?
The binding process has to do with glue, and it has to do with just basically literally making the spine of the book. Basically holding all these pages together.
Yeah.
There's a special machine called a bindery that will put all those pages together. So our friends at our printer, their bindery is down. And so they are a little bit backed up. So unfortunately, there is a decent chance that it is not at. We don't have magazines here. There are not magazines that exist right now. There are loose pages, but they have not been bound. So it may, in fact, be Monday until they get to your store.
Boo.
I'm really sorry.
Why do you hate me, Greg?
I know. I'm really
sorry. You're ruining my life.
So
why do you hate my favorite team?
You can order them at TexasFootball.com is where you can order your magazine, and it's literally, as soon as we get magazines, we will put them in the mail for you. That's the way that works. So, TexasFootball.com to order your magazine. Again, they may not be hitting shelves until early next week because of problems at the printer. Nothing to do with me. Save your emails. Okay?
You're a jerk.
Speaking of jerks, Max, you got the great pleasure of moving this weekend.
It's always a joy.
How was that?
As I've recounted many times for many people in the last 72 hours, the horror of my ordeal on Friday. My wife and I showed up to our new apartment complex, got the keys, walked into the apartment. Not the apartment we signed up for.
Oh, no.
That was the exact wrong layout of the apartment we were looking for. Let me tell you, you have a moving truck rented, your couch is being delivered within an hour, your cable guy is coming within 3 hours. Your whole life is converging on the wrong apartment.
Well, and that's interesting because I think we all think of moving, and moving sucks, period. I mean, hard stop. Moving sucks in the perfect scenario, okay? Yeah. But I think that people forget, if you haven't moved in a while, that it's not just, let's get our stuff and take it in there. Like, there's a lot of things signing up, getting cable, getting electricity, and all that fun stuff. And when you converge them all on the same place at the same time, if you've got one thing that goes wrong, it can really ruin everything.
And it did.
Oh, no.
So my Friday was very interesting. I was able to hide it, mask it during our show, but I was in the middle of the chaos on Friday. And we reached a somewhat amicable conclusion in which I will be moving to a different apartment within the same building in 7 weeks. So if you'd like to come over and see my wife and I, that's fine. There is a dining room table, a couch, a TV, and boxes that will not be opened for another 8 weeks or so.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah. I'm very sorry about it.
You hosted yet another Tepperpalooza this weekend.
It was Tepperpalooza.
How many Tepperpaloozas?
This was Tepperpalooza 8.
Jeez, you guys are pros. 140 people, you said?
140 people.
Now, what was the highlight? To the average person, explain what Tepperpalooza is first.
So I have a birthday, and my brother has a birthday, and they are my older brother, and they are 10 days apart. And so there's always a Saturday, sometimes two. In this case, there's two. There's always a Saturday between them. And so 8 years ago, when we were living in an apartment together, we had just moved into our apartment. And so we were thinking, okay, let's have a party for a housewarming party. It can also be a birthday party, a joint birthday party. And it became known as Tepperpalooza.
Sure.
It has grown and grown and grown, and it's now a big, stupid mess at a bar that we all get together and enjoy ourselves. I had family fly in, which was very nice. I had a cousin from Iowa fly in who was
Iowans are very nice.
Iowans are very nice, and they like to party.
Yeah, man.
And then we had a couple of one of my cousins and her friend flew in from Arizona, which was very nice. We had people traveling from all over. It was nice. The problem with that, the problem with a party like that, is I'm sure you can attest when you like host a party.
Sure.
If it's of a party of any size, you will never have a like meaningful, good, like deep conversation with anybody.
No, you're going to be bouncing from person to person. Right?
I had a series of 5 million 3-minute surface level conversations.
Hey, how are you doing?
Exactly.
How's your significant other?
Yeah.
How are the kids?
Yeah. Oh, how is everything?
Yeah.
Specific question for you.
Yeah.
Well, bye. You know, like my buddy whose wedding I went to recently, he showed up and I asked him about his honeymoon. And that was the one thing I got to talk to him about.
So my question then becomes, is this becoming fatiguing for you? Is that less enjoyable the older you get?
I will only say that my brother...
It's great to see these people.
The one thing that my brother and I have committed to is that we want to see TPX. We want to get to 10. We want to get to 10, 10 birthday parties. At that point, I'll be turning 32. He'll be turning 34. And after that, birthday parties seem a bit much.
Sure.
So that's kind of the goal, just to get to a round number. At that point, it'll probably become a year-to-year proposition. And maybe we do it every 10 years or something like that. Maybe for the big numbers, you know. But
that makes sense.
So yes, we did that. I also went to a wedding before that, so it was a long day.
Yeah, my
me.
wife goes, they're at a wedding? I was like, no. They're at Tepperpalooza. That must be an old photo. No, they're at a wedding. I was like, that's quite a Saturday.
Did the wedding at 3, did the party at 9. It was a pretty big day.
Did you feel your face in the morning?
No.
I didn't think so.
And what's really... So it's very... The wedding was beautiful. Congratulations to my friend Alexis and her new husband, Nick, the Wellborns. The wedding, it's really fun. It was a Catholic ceremony, and it was and I'm Catholic.
Yep.
Okay, it was a very Catholic ceremony. Okay,
oh, no.
It was super traditional.
Yeah.
Excuse me. Like she did, Alexis did the thing where my wife refers to it as a blusher, where it's the veil over the face, and she kept the veil over the face the whole time until the end when he lifted it up and kissed her, which is a very
old school.
Old school. Yeah. It was a full hour, and I'll tell you, the funniest part is whenever you are the only Catholic at a Catholic wedding, because everyone around me is like, what is going on? I don't It's a dance that you don't know the moves to.
That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
That's
I've
true.
been doing it my whole life.
Yeah.
I can probably go up there and do the priest's job.
That's probably true.
I've heard enough masses in my life that I can do it.
You and I are in the same boat here.
And there was a point where it was, and the other part is that this was it was a beautiful ceremony. It was at a Hispanic church, and it was pretty clear that the priest, English was his second language. So it was a little hard to understand him at times. And so, like, it gets to, like, the sign of peace, which is all you do is you turn, you kiss your wife, shake hands with people around you.
A little hug if you know somebody.
Yeah, if you know somebody, give them a hug. And at that point, I don't know if it was the translation or just the the fact that they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
Like I lean over and I kiss my wife on the cheek, and then I like turn around and all my friends are like looking at me like, what's going on?
What are we supposed to do?
And
right
I told them, I'm like, this is the part where we all awkwardly shake hands and wish each other well and stuff like that. It was fun. So congratulations to the Wellborns. It was a lot of fun. We're DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. Follow us on Twitter, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram, and we have a website. All right, Maximilian. Let's get into some headlines. The biggest headline from the weekend went down. It sounded like it went down like Friday night or Friday afternoon. It started coming out. And Art Briles and Baylor have reached a settlement, which will prevent this from dragging on and getting Baylor dragged through the mud. They've reached a settlement, so Art Briles is officially 100% done at Baylor.
After we were all held hostage for like 6 days with the possibility that they were going to bring him back.
And I've thought a lot about this over the weekend. And here's it's clear what happened here.
Okay.
Right? Very clearly, Art Briles went to Baylor and said, fine, you're going to fire me? All right, well, you're going to pay me X number of dollars.
Right.
And then you can just fire me.
Yeah.
And Baylor said, no, Art, we're not going to pay you X number of dollars.
Yeah.
And then Art said, well, I will go scorched earth if you don't pay me X number of dollars.
Yeah.
And Baylor said, Art, we're still not going to pay you X number of dollars.
Yeah.
And then Art Briles comes out on Thursday or Friday, whenever it was. I think it was Thursday.
Thursday, I think.
Thursday.
Right.
And he goes scorched earth. And he starts saying, if you really want to open up this Pandora's box and we can let all of these documents go into the public domain that will show you everything that's going on at the Baylor football program and everything that's going on at Baylor in general, then we can do that because I'm ready to fight. Yeah. And he went public with that. And 24 hours later, Baylor goes, hey, remember that X number of dollars you wanted?
We found it.
Do you still want it?
We found it.
That's very clearly what happened.
Weird. The couch we put it under.
We found it. Oh,
we thought it was in storage. Actually, it's in the other room.
Wouldn't you know it? Wouldn't you know it that they came to a settlement? I mean, Baylor, the quicker and quieter that these civil suits and lawsuits go away, the better for Baylor. Because remember, with Baylor being a private institution, they don't have to tell you anything. They can just say no. And there's no recourse that you can have with it. The only thing is that when a private institution goes into a court, which is a public forum, then all of a sudden things come out. Yeah. And so Baylor it's very clear, did not want to start playing games with Art Briles, who does have money to fight them. Yeah. And so they settle. Art Briles is officially done at Baylor, and it looks like for the moment you can close a chapter on what will be an ongoing Baylor saga. Another headline. This came out this morning, and you've got it in the roundup up on TexasFootball.com. Our good friend Matt Wixon of the Dallas Morning News has another compelling story up on SportsDayHS.com, talking about seniors. Who are maybe a little bit under the radar, guys who he thinks could become real household names this year, is essentially what. And
kind of, I think the key distinction being we know who all the top recruits are, right? You know the big names around the area and in the state who everyone's recruiting. But here's 5 guys that, aren't going to be at the top of recruiting lists, but at the end of the year, statistically, their team's success, it's going to be about these guys.
He calls them potential offensive game changers, and that you won't find on a top 100 list of recruits. Right. And one of the things, Matt Wixon is a good buddy and one of the guys who to kind of spill the beans. When I interned at the Dallas Morning News, Matt Wixon was one of the first guys to really take me under his wing. And so I've got great affection for Matt Wixon. And one of the things that I know that he thinks and what I am, something we agree on, is that we don't necessarily see best players in high school and best recruits as one list.
Absolutely.
I think that you can be a big-time playmaker without being a superstar recruit. Yeah. And so 5 guys he listed in the DFW area. Jay Orgy, the running back at Frisco Wakeland, who is a superstar. The reason he's not being recruited is because he's 175 pounds soaking wet. Okay, he's a small dude, but he is quick, and he's a workhorse too. He
Right.
ran for 1,900 yards last year. Should have an even bigger senior season. Connor Pingleton, the quarterback at Salina.
We've talked about him a lot here, obviously.
I know you're a big fan.
Yeah.
Connor Pingleton, of course, was fantastic, and we thought going in that title game with West Orange Stark, once he went down, that changed the whole.
Yeah, I think in much the same way with Lake Ridge and their injuries, I think we all felt a little cheated for the game we thought we were going to get.
Mm-hmm. I think that goes underreported. That we talk so much about the 5A and the 6A games that if so and so isn't hurt or so and so is healthy, things get well.
Yeah.
Well, here in this 4A Division 1 game or 4A Division 2 game, if Connor Pingleton stays healthy for Salina, the quarterback, things probably take a very different tenor.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying Salina wins,
right?
But I'm saying it's a closer game, and maybe the Salina offense can put up more of a fight. Yeah. But Connor Pingleton coming back, should be fully healthy for season, should be a big year. Lawrence Dixon, the wide receiver at South Grand Prairie.
This is a great one. I think.
It's very interesting. He's the prototypical home run hitter. Yeah. That if you look at his numbers, he only had 27 catches last year,
right?
Which would rank. I would rank fourth on a lot of teams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But he averaged 22 yards a catch, and he had 7 touchdowns on those 22 catches, which all that tells you is that he just says, hey, go.
Yeah.
Go real fast.
Absolutely.
And especially on a team that features one of the best prospects in the nation in Jeffrey Akuda at the safety spot.
And I think that's kind of why he gets overshadowed, too.
Yeah, exactly. Lawrence Dixon is a big-time playmaker for South Grand Prairie. Jaquez Gooch, the quarterback for North Mesquite.
Great name.
My dude Mike Robinson has been talking up Gooch for a long time now. He thinks that he is a superstar in the making. And you look at it last year, 1,000 yards passing, 884 yards rushing. He could take that next big step forward, and I think nobody would necessarily be surprised. And then another guy that maybe people haven't heard of, McKinney Board running back Caden Markham.
Yeah.
There's a couple reasons why you probably haven't heard of him. First and foremost, he only played 10 games because they went 5-5 and missed the playoffs. Right. But 204 carries, almost 1,200 yards, 16 touchdowns. He's a receiving threat as well. This guy is a playmaker, and if Boyd's going to get back to the playoffs, then he's a guy to keep an eye on. So those are five on there. It's well worth your time at Sports AHS. Our friend Matt Wixon with a great piece there. So check that out. We are DCTF Live. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF. You can like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. You can follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. Of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. We got 5 shows we're here all week, right? You're not gone?
We're good for a while now.
Yeah, we should probably do these kind of conversations off the air, but we're a real professional broadcast here.
I think we're locked in for a while now.
Yeah, because
no major trips or anything.
I'm trying to think the next time.
I think 4th of July, right?
Yeah, we'll be off Monday the 4th of July, but then and even I'm gonna do a show before I go up to Chicago. I mean, really, I don't think I'm missing a day. No, I'll miss a day.
See, but here's the thing.
July we go to coaching conventions, so there won't be a live show, but we'll have podcasts up with. Right. Which, by the way, just be prepared in about mid-July. It's like July 18th through 18, 19, around 20th, there. Yeah. We're going to be at coaching convention down there at San Antonio, and we're going to have. I mean, basically every guest in the world is going to be walking by our booth. Yeah. And we're just going to be like, "Hey, here, put these headphones on and talk." So we're going to have mega podcasts for Monday and Tuesday of that week. Problem is we can't do live because the internet won't allow it. Right. So it's the internet. Blame the internet.
Boo, internet.
So, we'll be here for a while. So get ready for guests and fun stuff. It's going to be a fun summer with DCTF Live. We should turn what I just did into a promo. I'll do it cleaner. Ready?
Okay.
It's going to be a fun summer with DCTF Live. Woo! Okay. Let's get to this other topic that I want to talk about. So last night, there was a lot of yesterday was a huge sports day.
Big sports day.
Holy
big sports
cow.
weekend.
Big sports weekend. I watched the Ranger game. There was baseball all weekend.
Euro 2016.
Euro 2016. Yeah. Which I locked into that France and Switzerland game for a bit.
U.S. Open. Golf.
U.S. Open golf. There was, and of course, the one that everybody was really excited about. The NBA Finals. Game 7 of the NBA Finals. Cleveland brings home, the Cleveland Cavaliers beat the Golden State Warriors to bring home Cleveland's first title in, 50-something years?
Yeah, 52.
I'm not an NBA guy. You're not an NBA guy.
No, not really.
You watched it.
It was a good game.
I heard. I'm not an NBA guy, but it's obviously a huge thing for Cleveland to bring back a title, and for Cleveland to bring home a championship first major. There you go. It's up on ESPN. First major championship in 52 years.
Yeah.
52 years. That's impressive.
A long time.
That's a long championship drought. It's a long drought. So
You got you thinking.
got me thinking about droughts. Got me thinking about not the kind of drought that we're bound to have this summer.
Right.
But instead, playoff droughts. And we've gone through and figured out the longest playoff droughts in the state in each classification. Figure out who is most likely to break the drought. Okay, we start with the longest drought in the state.
Any classification.
Any classification.
Okay.
Houston Northbrook. So Houston Northbrook has been around since 1974, and they have never made the playoffs.
Wow.
Okay, that's not good juju there, and I'll tell you, things aren't looking great. They went 3-7 last year, but they are not projected to be. They're projected to struggle. They do bring back 5 starters on offense, 5 starters on defense, but this is a very tough district that they're in. If you take a look at their district down there in District 15, they're in the Klein Oak Stratford district. The chances of them really jumping up and making the playoffs for the first time don't look very promising. In 5A, North Dallas. So North Dallas, the alma mater of my grandmother.
Nice.
So there's that. Go Steers. North Dallas, I'll tell you, they've got a shot. They have not been to the playoffs since 1952.
Yeah.
Okay? 1952.
It's a long time.
It's a very long time. And I'll tell you, I think they got a shot.
Really?
Right? It's an outside shot because you look at the top of District 12 5A. Woodrow Wilson is usually going to be pretty good. Seagoville usually has athletes. Yeah. But then I think you've got this batch of 4 teams here with Adams, Adamson, Sunset, and then North Dallas. Yeah. And 2 of those teams are making the playoffs. They went 5-5 last year and missed the playoffs, okay? They bring back 7 starters on both sides of the ball. I think this is the year. I think North Dallas is breaking the streak, making the playoffs for the first time since 1952. That's what I'm going. All right.
All right.
Down in 4A, staying in the DFW area, Fort Worth, Diamond Hill, Jarvis. Ooh boy, they have not made the playoffs since 1954.
Jeez.
It's a tough thing, pal. They have not made the playoffs since 1954. Now, here is what is working in their favor. Okay, in District 5 4A Division 1, 5 4A Division 1. Here's what's working in their favor. It's a 16 district, so 2/3 of that district is making the playoffs. Yeah. Here's what doesn't work in their favor. Kennedale, they're making the playoffs, right? We are cool saying they're making the playoffs.
They're making the playoffs.
Mineral Wells,
making the playoffs.
10-win team from year 4. Springtown, probably making the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then you've got Lake Worth, not a bad team.
Yeah, solid team.
And then the other team kind of down there in the bottom in the cellar would be Fort Worth Castleberry. This is a team that went 0-10 last year. This is a team that has not had a win. They've gone 0-10 each of the last 5 seasons. Yeah. So I don't, even with 15 starters back, it's hard to see Diamond Hill Jarvis breaking through.
Not as likely for them.
Hey, Max, do you know who has the longest playoff drought in Class 3A?
I don't.
Dimmitt.
Oh, really?
Dimmitt has not made the playoffs since 1976.
Wow.
And boy, they got their heart broken last year.
That's right. Yes.
I think there's a lot of teams. I think there's a lot of people who thought that it was going to be their year last year when they started off in non-district play and they started off 4-1.
Yeah.
And everyone's
look sharp.
Guys, maybe this is the year. They get redistricted into the Canadian district, which stinks.
Yeah.
But Childress is probably going to make the playoffs.
Childress for sure.
Spearman. Basically, they're probably fighting with Amarillo, Highland Park, and maybe Tulia if Tulia gets their act together.
Yeah, that won't be easy.
But 14 starters back, I'm not super optimistic that they can make the playoffs. In 2A, 2A is the kind of, because it's always been the smallest classification. They've had smaller districts, and so it's we've only got one team that hasn't made it in this century,
right?
And that's Cushing. Cushing has not made the playoffs since 1997, but this is another example of a team that started off hot. They started off 4-1 in non-district, and everyone's going, "Oh my gosh, is this the year that happens?" go 0-5 in district and they collapse. And I'll tell you, it's probably not happening again this year. 8 starters back total, and they're in the district with Alto, Shelbyville, St. Augustine, Price, Carlisle. I mean, even throwing Joaquin in that mix.
Boy, you talk about some of these teams like them and Dimmitt, right?
Yeah.
These are
But they're on-
this is a strange psychology because you know you're going to have to endure some blowouts, right, against really good teams, but you also have to be able to compartmentalize for those games that you feel like you have a shot in, right? There's a real juxtaposition of mentalities in that, like, we have to do our best against teams who just have more than we do.
Absolutely.
But then regroup in time, week to week for these teams where we might have a shot. So
Yes.
That's not easy.
So here's the thing about Prairie Lee. So Prairie Lee is the team with the longest playoff drought in not only in the state, not only in six-man football, but also in the state. So they have not made the playoffs since 1944.
Ooh.
But it's also important to remember that Prairie Lee discontinued their football team for a long, long time. I'm trying to find the exact. I want to find the
years.
Yeah, the exact number of years. But they discontinued their football team for quite a while. They've recently kind of dug it back up and tried to put it back into contention, but it just hasn't worked out well. Also, being in the same district as Calvert won't help things. This is a team that now they bring back 10 starters, which on a 6-man team is a ton.
Pretty good.
But when you're talking about having to get past Calvert, you got to pencil them in there, and then you've got Oglesby and Buckholz, both teams that with better pedigrees than Prairie Lee does. I just don't see Prairie Lee making the playoffs again.
Tough
this year. So, but it's easy. I think it's easy to talk about teams that win a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's why we got really excited last year when Houston Scarborough won a game.
Yeah, for sure.
As far as a winning streak is concerned,
you can't be getting the monkey off your back.
Right.
Right. I mean, that's tough.
Yes. So right now that Houston Scarborough has won a game, the longest active winning streak, if you're interested at all, is Diamond Hill Jarvis. Diamond Hill Jarvis, because they've lost 50
longest active losing streak.
I'm sorry. They've lost 57 in a row. Dating back to 2010. They haven't won a game since 2010. Now, I think it's possible that Diamond Hill Jarvis could get off of that list. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The playoffs probably
there's a chance
long
there,
one.
for sure.
Past that, Houston Sam Houston, which is now Houston Math and Science and Technology. They changed the name of that.
Yeah.
They've lost 37 in a row. Penelope has lost 29 in a row down to 6-man. As far as from a 6-man team, you've got Houston Sam Houston, but also Pasadena Rayburn has lost 27 in a row. And then you're getting into Baytown Lee, which lost 27 in a row, etc. But, if the Cleveland Cavaliers can win an NBA title, then these teams can get off the losing streaks and maybe
one of these teams can borrow LeBron for 1 week.
That'd be pretty awesome.
6-man football with LeBron?
Do you think his UIL eligibility is
I'm sure we could sneak him in sometime.
I bet we could. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for spending part of your day with us. Tomorrow, we're talking with James Lopp, the official recruiting analyst of Dave Campbell's Texas Football. You do not want to miss that. Follow us on Twitter at DCTF. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbell's. And, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Vince Young, please come get your Player of the Year trophy. We will see you tomorrow on DCTF Live.